Hi everyone, I want to take a little bit of time to talk to you about our newest series here at Joy Filled Home. We're going to do a series all about love. Now, love is portrayed often through our media as an emotional experience, and it's an amazing emotional experience. I hope you all have had that experience of meeting someone and falling in love, of walking with someone through that type of romantic journey, even the love of friendship and family. It's an amazing thing to feel that emotional rush that love brings. The problem is that when love is defined purely by the emotions, even when there's behaviors attached to the emotional feeling, the problem is that the emotion of love ebbs and flows. So just like you can fall in love, you can also fall out of love. Just like you can naturally love a child, you can have a child that you struggle to have that emotional connection with. So this is a problem if you're a Christian, especially because we are commanded to love. In fact, when Jesus was asked what the most important commandment is, he replied that it's to love the Lord, your God. He followed that up by saying the second most important commandment is to love others as you love yourself. So Jesus made it clear that we're supposed to love God, we're supposed to love other people, and we're even supposed to love ourselves. In Jesus's life and his other teachings, he also makes it clear that the other people that we're supposed to love aren't just those that are close to us or those that love us, but we're even supposed to love our enemies. We're supposed to love everyone. It's exhausting just thinking about having that sort of emotional connection to everybody, and how in the world do you even do that? It becomes even more intimidating if you realize that God himself is love. I know this is true. The more I walk with the Lord, the more I experience this, and it's amazing. But the overwhelming part comes when I realize that I'm created in his image. And so I should, just like him, be love to everyone. How on earth is that possible? Well, there's good news. And the good news is that love isn't actually defined by emotion, but there's a lot that defines love. And emotion is a part of it, but emotion doesn't have to lead. Instead, you can make choices to love. And the awesome thing is that when you make choices to behave with love, often the emotions follow. So it's probably important that we understand how love behaves. And that's what we're going to take time to walk through, so that hopefully by the end of this series, we're all feeling the emotional aspect of love more in our homes and in our hearts, but also that we're reflecting the behavior of love to those closest to us and to everyone that we meet. So we're going to start with something simple, and we're going to get started today. We're going to start with 1 Corinthians 13, but we're not starting at the beginning. Instead, we're skipping all the way to verse 7. And 1 Corinthians 13:7 says that love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. So today we're going to focus on the believing part, because it's my opinion that if you start with believing, then the rest of love actually comes a little more easily. So what does it mean to believe all things? This word here for believe actually means to credit, to place confidence in someone or something, to rely upon. It signifies putting trust in someone. In many charismatic circles especially, there is a value for prophetically calling out the golden people. This means simply that we're going to speak words of encouragement that may or may not line up with someone's current reality or identity. We're going to look at people and we're going to intentionally find good and kind things to say. Now, this is really important. I hope you guys practice this. I hope you practice it in your daily lives as well. I believe firmly in the power of declaring good things, and I try to do that often around my home as I'm going throughout my day and over my kids and my family and my marriage and all kinds of things. But this word here for believes isn't just about declaring something good. Because unfortunately, it's all too often easy to say something that we don't actually have a connection in our heart towards. That is, we can say something and it's good and kind and our intentions may be in the right place, but we might not actually believe it. or we might not actually be willing to put our trust or our confidence in it. So believing in someone goes a step beyond just simply saying something kind or encouraging to them. Believing someone means that you're actually putting confidence in the good in them, even if they maybe aren't reflecting it. So love believes and acts according to the belief. To the world, this looks like foolishness. But what is the actual risk of it? What happens if you put your belief in someone? Maybe you look foolish if it doesn't pan out. But on the flip side, what happens if you put your belief in someone, in love, if you choose this, and it actually bears fruit? Now, I want to pause for a minute and just put a little side note in. I'm not talking about foolishly enabling addicts or abusers or those types of things. Love believes in people, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have healthy boundaries. So we're not going to get into that subject today, but I just want to make it clear that it is okay to protect yourself. And I'm not talking about that. Sometimes people have to walk through a process to get healthy. And that also is a loving thing to do. But that's not what we're going to focus on today. Instead, we're just going to focus on the love believing part, okay? In our homes especially, it's really important that we are a source of belief in people. That when we look at our kids, that we're not just seeing where they're at right now, but that we're seeing who they can be, who they're supposed to be. Same with our spouses. Same with our close friends. This is what we're supposed to do with people. And it's not just when this lines up with their current reality or their current identity. It's especially important when it doesn't. You know, Jamie's often told the story of our friend Jim. He was somebody that we met when we lived in Germany. And Germany was the lowest point in our lives. Our marriage was falling apart. We were both making unwise choices. We had a lot of pain. There was a lot of mess. It was an ugly situation. Jim came into Jamie's life first, but shortly after I met him as well. And even when we were at our lowest and ugliest, he was a source of encouragement and comfort and hope. He looked at us and he didn't see the mess. Now, he wasn't blind to it, so maybe I shouldn't say it was that he didn't see it. It's that he chose to look beyond it. And he would speak to us about who we were and who we were going to be on the other side. He gave us confidence and he gave us courage. And it's amazing when I look back and I think the reality of who we were behaving at the time, the reality of our lives was so ugly. There was so much mess and brokenness and pain. And yet somehow this man was able, even though he had never known us, in a different season of life, he was able to come into our life in that moment and see beyond it and begin to speak to us about who we really were, what our future was going to be. He gave us courage and he gave us hope. And that's such an amazing thing. I believe that partly because of Jim, we were able to make it to the other side because he gave us courage, because he gave us the ability to give mercy to ourselves because he gave us mercy. Now, Jim has already gone on to heaven, but I would like to think that he's been proven right and that he's already enjoying the fruit of his belief in us, because anything that we do that he called us, that he called out in us, ministry and these types of things, I think that part of our fruit is actually credited to him. So I hope that he right now is experiencing some good fruit because of his choice to act in love and to put confidence in us and to speak courage to us. And it wasn't just empty words. He backed it up with his life. He backed it up with his actions, with the way he treated us. Such an amazing thing when people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. When people look past your current circumstances and they're able to not just say a fleeting encouraging word, though that can be helpful too, but actually treat you according to a deeper reality. This is what it means to believe. When love believes all things, It's important that it is putting confidence in someone beyond where they're at. This is so important in our homes. Parents, spouses, I'm going to talk specifically to you for a minute. Your children deserve to have you be the one who believes in them more than anyone else. And not just that you're saying things about what could be, but that you're actually treating them according to an identity greater than where they are. That you're choosing to tie yourself to them in such a way that you're going to walk faithfully with them on their journey until they get to where they're supposed to be. Spouses, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the biggest cheerleader for someone else. You know, in our homes, we see the worst in people. You know, hopefully we get to see the best too, but we see the ugliest sides of each other. You know, we see each other at our worst. That's just what happens over time and when you live with someone. And what an amazing thing when you can look past someone's negative traits, when you can look past the mess of something in someone's life. Not pretend like it doesn't exist, but actually see them as greater than that circumstance. Actually see the other side. Actually see them the way the Lord does, so that you're choosing to not just tell them, hey, you can do it, but to tie yourself to their journey in such a way because you truly believe that they're going to come out of it the other side. It's our job as parents, as spouses, to love people like this. This is how the Lord loves us. Now, the good news is that Holy Spirit is with you and He's going to teach you this. He's going to show you how to do this. He's going to empower you to do this. But it starts with you making the choice. Sometimes your kids are going to fail. And in those moments, it's not that maybe there isn't consequences to a bad choice or things like that. But in those moments, it's your job to look at them with love, to walk with them on the journey as they don't just pick themselves up, but they pick themselves up and they become who they're supposed to be. And they become something greater than what could be seen just with the naked eye. Love believes all things. In the Passion Translation, it describes it this way. It says, love is a safe place of shelter, for it never stops believing the best for others. I love that. We all need a safe place of shelter. We all need to be able to have that place, those people that we can go to and know that they are going to look at us with love, that they believe in us more than we believe ourselves, that when we fail, when we're feeling bad already about ourselves, that we can go to them and they're not just going to tolerate us, but that they're actually going to be with us on the journey as we go farther than we are, as we make things right, as we continue on, that they're going to give us the courage and the hope that we'll get to the other side. Now, I don't know if you've had a gym in your life or not, but I hope so. I do know, however, that you have the opportunity to be that to somebody else. So I want to encourage you to start at home. Look at your kids, look at your spouse, look at your family members, the people closest to you, and begin to choose to look at them with eyes of love. Ask the Lord that He would open your eyes so that you would see the people around you, not just with the naked eye, but that you would see them as He does, and that you would begin to behave accordingly. As you do, you will be amazed at the fruit that will come in their life and in yours. Love is a journey. It's a skill that we get to grow in. So don't be discouraged if you're not there yet, but do commit to the journey, because your homes and your hearts are going to flourish if you choose love. All right, I hope to see you again next time. But for right now, I just want to bless you. May your hearts and homes flourish with love this week. May you encounter the love of the Father in the people around you. May they call out gold and bring you into new places of freedom and identity. And may your words and hearts be filled with love and belief for the people around you. Amen. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you next time.